So I did, because I had no other choice. So I'd start writing these stories, and my first story was about this guy named King Kaleb, inspired by myself, obviously. And I'm going to stand up so you can see. And King Kaleb, he would take a submarine underneath the North Pole, and he would blow things up and meet with aliens, and he met Santa Claus, and he did all sorts of the most ridiculous things that 9-year-old Kaleb wanted to do. Like, he wanted to blow things up. He wanted to be called King Kaleb. He wanted to be underneath the North Pole and all those ridiculous things. And then I realized, even though I kept saying that I hated writing so much, strangely enough, I began to enjoy it, because whenever I wrote these stories, I could do whatever I wanted. I could go underneath the North Pole, which is, I believe, physically impossible. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is. And I could blow things up underwater, and I could meet aliens and all that stuff. I could do whatever I wanted whenever I was writing my stories that I couldn't do whenever I was 9 years old. So without telling my mother, because of course I'd never dare admit that my mother was right, I kept writing on these stories. And the next week, I'd write another page on it, and I wouldn't whine as much. And the next week I'd write another page. And the next week maybe 2 pages, then 3 pages. And then pretty soon, after I had been doing all this, I was writing so much that my mom would come to me and she'd be like, "You can't write this much. You have to be a normal child and go outdoors and do other things than write." And it was ridiculous how I had switched from being this kid that hated anything to do with writing to where it was like I would do it hours a day on my own free time and there were rules on it. And I was turning into an abnormal child that sat in front of the computer typing all day. But I had lots of fun with it. And so after that, I never really finished the story. Well, I did finish the story with King Kaleb underneath the North Pole, because he was victorious and everyone loved him and he had a parade in his honor. But yeah, that's pretty much how that story ended. And then after that, I started writing more stories about Kaleb. It would be like Commander Kaleb was the next one, was a starship captain. Then you'd have Captain Kaleb, and he was a commander of a mech warrior or something. Then you'd have all sorts of captains and kings and all the different types of Kalebs you could possibly imagine. And then Bilak, which is Kaleb spelled backwards, my alter ego. And people caught on to that really fast, unfortunately. But so I'd write all these stories, and I wrote these for many, many years, and then I'd branch off into other ones like science fiction and Star Wars.